I've worked with dozens of companies who are so excited to bring AI into their hiring process, but you know what? They're also terrified of getting it wrong. And they're absolutely right to be worried. Today, we're going to make sure you get it right. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll lay the groundwork with Singapore's non-negotiable fair employment principles. Then, we'll see exactly how AI is changing the game. And finally, I'm going to give you a battle-tested plan to keep your AI hiring fair, compliant, and, actually effective. Before we can even talk about a single algorithm or data set, we have to be grounded in the principles that govern fair employment right here in Singapore. Because look, technology doesn't get to rewrite the rules. It has to play by them. And the foundation for everything, and I mean everything we're about to discuss, is the TGFEP. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the core idea is incredibly simple. Hiring has to be based on merit. Can they do the job? That's it. Nothing else matters. So think of these 5 principles as your North Star. They guide every single hiring decision you make, whether that decision is being made by a human manager over a coffee or by a super sophisticated machine learning model in the cloud. These are totally non-negotiable. All right, now let's meet the new team member in every modern recruitment department, even if you can't see it: artificial intelligence. It promises to be faster, smarter, and best of all, free of bias. But is it really? This is the big selling point, isn't it? We adopt AI hoping to get rid of all those messy human biases, and that's a noble goal. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. AI learns from us. It learns from our past data, which means it can inherit our old biases and then amplify them in new, subtle ways that are really hard to spot. It learns from our history, flaws and all. And this is where things get really fascinating and, frankly, a little bit dangerous. An AI doesn't think like a person. It just looks for patterns. So we have to understand how bias can hide in plain sight inside your data, leading to this huge problem we call proxy discrimination. Now, what's so interesting here is just how crystal clear the TAFEP guidelines are for humans. It's simple, right? Describe the job's demands, not the person's age. But what happens when you try to teach these very same rules to a machine? So, you do the right thing. You tell your shiny new AI tool, ignore the age field. You might even scrub the birth dates from every single resume you process. But then, you feed it the last 10,000 hiring decisions your company has made. What patterns do you think it's going to find? And this just brilliantly illustrates the whole problem. The AI learns that year of graduation is a fantastic substitute, a proxy, for age. It figures out that people who graduated before a certain year were almost never hired for a particular role, so it just replicates that pattern. It creates the exact same discriminatory outcome without ever once using the word age. And, the exact same logic applies to gender. Your AI might not see male or female on an application, but if it learns from your company's history that successful engineers often played rugby or were in a certain after-school club, it can learn to associate those things with a specific gender and start prioritizing those candidates. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a tricky one, but let's move to the solution. We have to take TAFEP's common sense advice for human interviewers and translate it into a concrete, technical checklist for our AI tools. This shows you a direct one-to-one translation. See, the principle hasn't changed at all, but the application is now technical. Create selection criteria now becomes auditing the data points your AI is even allowed to look at. Apply criteria consistently becomes technically testing the model for fairness. And keep records means you have to log the AI's decisions. You could actually explain them later. So the most crucial point is this. This is not about getting rid of AI or replacing your amazing HR team, not at all. It's about empowering your people with better tools and giving them a rock-solid process for oversight, making sure a skilled human is always in the driver's seat. So here it is. This is your takeaway plan, just 4 simple steps. 1. Audit the historical data your AI is learning from. You have to look for those past biases. 2. Regularly test what the AI spits out to check for fairness. 3. And this is a big one, never let an AI reject a candidate on its own. A human must review every shortlist. And 4, have a clear appeal process, just like TAFEP recommends for any other grievance. This is really what we're aiming for, isn't it? This isn't about efficiency at all costs. It's about using this incredible technology to help us overcome our own human limitations and make truly fair, merit-based decisions. The AI is a powerful, powerful tool. But your judgment, that's still the most important part of the whole process. So I'll leave you with this one question to take back to your organization. As you start to use these incredibly powerful new tools, you really have a choice. Is your AI going to help you build a more diverse, more talented future? Or will it just automate the biases of the past, only faster and at a much bigger scale? The choice is yours.